Today is April 6th, and as I said on a good news video email today is my daughter Julia's 26th birthday. Brian, can you believe it? 26 years ago.
No.
26 years ago. I remember you running down the hallway with your open arms, Brian, to take Julia in your arms when you were at the hospital. But anyway, today's her 26th birthday. Very proud of my daughter Julia. And we had a lot of great information for this week. First quarter is done. We're into second quarter. I know a lot of you are doing great this first quarter, despite the weather and all the things that people are saying how bad the market is. A lot of you guys are having some really great starts for this year. So congratulations. For those of you that are not, don't give up. Don't think, well, the year sucks, I'm not going to hit my goals. I've seen people come out of first quarter with zero production and get on President's Club by the end of the year. You guys could do it as well. So we're going to talk about a couple different things today. First, I want to wrap up, Brian, just a quick highlight of last week to make sure that everyone, we finished up the follow-up sequence. And then I'm going to give you guys some thoughts on setting up a client event and what do you need to do for that. And some people might say, oh, geez, that's, can't do that. And, no one's going to come, that type of thing. I want to really have a good conversation with you with that, because client events are one of the things that I see top producers hold and do each and every year, and it's one of their highlights to what they do. They get business permit, repeat referral business, and it just has to be one of those pillars that you put into your business, whether it's now or in the near future. Something you need to do. Actually, I had the opportunity to this past week. Nikki Davies did her first client event. She was kind of the same way. The first couple years, like, I don't have enough people, I don't really have enough clients, and she had a great turnout. I want to say she had about 43 people that came to her sunset cruise down in Naples, and it was a big hit. So not that we could do a lot of sunset cruises in New York, but you guys could do Lake George. I'm sure there's the boats that are up there. You guys can do an event, something similar to that in the summer, which I think would be great. I know some people have talked about it, but I've never seen them do it, or at least maybe I've never been invited to go. So but why don't we go ahead, Brian, and give it over to Tina for quick housekeeping, and then I'll have you jump onto the lead follow-up. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Morning,
Sure.
Tina.
Good morning, guys. So tomorrow we do have a Zoom call with the Florida team from 10 to 10:30. Wednesday is our next masterclass from 1 to 2, and we will be reviewing luxury marketing. And then on Friday the 10th, we have another session of Front Office Friday. So that is a weekly call where you guys can hop on and get live help with your new CRM and our website platform. Back to you guys.
Yeah, let me touch on that. Can't see how many here. So we had our first Front Office Friday this past Friday, and a little disappointed because this is something that's coming new. It's going to be new. It's coming fast, and again, it's not something we've had the luxury of having years of experience dealing with this platform. So the more training up front that we rely on from Lone Wolf and also on these calls and questions, the better we can roll this out. So I'd like to see more participation. We had a very low participation on the first one there. We were thinking that we would have more agents that were ready, but this is not the type of platform, Willie, where we're going to be able to just, oh my God, it's an emergency, come on in and sit one-on-one with a staff person that's going to go through all of the training with you. We're going to try to accommodate the best we can, but it really helps having agents at those trainings, especially if we can get them in bigger numbers. It's kind of a good segue into when we're going to talk about, after we touch on lead here, many, what do we call it? One to many, right?
One to many, yeah.
Better version. Same thing with training. So guys, on Connect team, there's a host of training schedules that the staff put up for our rollout over the next few weeks. I'm not going to get into too much detail now, but try to put those dates and times in your calendar, at least one of them, because it's going to be very crucial. You don't want to wait till the plug gets pulled on Market Leader and then go into panic mode like some people do. So just put some time aside for that. Willie, I will show my screen, and I think we just wanted to recap what we covered last week with regards to lead follow-up and maybe the last few bullet points here, and then get into talking about really just the strategy on client events too, because we've been to a lot of great client events, and there's some that have had weak turnouts. We've had agents cancel some of them because they didn't plan right. So this document that we're going to go over shortly here will help you with a strategy for client events. But just recapping lead follow-up, Willie, one of the things busy this time of year is a lot of agents are great at connecting in leads or generating leads, but then they drop the ball on the follow-up. So we went through this list, go back to last week's call on Connect Team. But if I scroll down here to the bottom here, just on the last page, I think maybe the last one right here, the last few bullet points here, just things to think about. You know, a lot of agents, when they get on the phone, are worried about pre-qualifying the lead and asking all kinds of questions. We've learned through the past few years that just get in front of them first. Don't worry about if they're working with another realtor, if they're pre-approved. That'll come out naturally in conversation. Try to get them to the office or meet them, you know, somewhere at a location where you can go a little deeper in a conversation. You want to elaborate on that, Willie?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it goes without. We always talk about the whole pre-qual process, but I know that Brian, you talked about it. You've done it in essentials and everything else. It's essential for that. I was looking at the material piece, Brian. It just kind of popped up when you were talking.
Yeah.
When I went on a listing appointment last week with an agent, one of the things that the guys, we ended up getting the listing, and one of the things that he said is that he liked the fact that we left him stuff to sit with and review, which is stuff that was in the blue box, versus the other agent didn't leave anything, right? So we ended up getting the listing, and I really feel that makes a huge difference when you have that home seller packet, some information about yourself, some testimonials. They were able to have that packet of information, and it made a big difference. But I think with the you know, as far as the pre-qual, Brian, go a little deeper on that piece, because what was the piece that you wanted me to cover? Because honestly,
You know,
I wasn't paying attention. I was thinking about the material and giving headaches.
So many agents in the past, you know, before they even know what the person's looking for or doing, they're already trying to pre-qualify them on the first conversation. You know, do you have a realtor already that you're working with? Are you pre-approved?
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
talking to the lender? And, you know, and yeah, is there a chance that you're probably going to be talking to someone that works with a realtor? Or are you going to be talking to someone that probably has, you know, not pre-approved yet? The numbers are very low. If you're out of 20 people that you come in contact with, you might have a handful, but that's part of the business. It's a numbers game. I'd say try to get in front of them first, create some dialogue with them first, and that'll eventually come out if there is an issue. But a good way to turn away business on follow-ups is right away they're asking those questions up front.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Let me get I'm high five to get back in there, but I know where you're going with that is that all the time, not all the time, but we would see it all the time. It's less and less and less now that we've been training the proper way in these things. But when those leads come through the internet and they're coming through, they just want to get in there and see the home. That's all they really need you for. They don't need to look at pictures. They don't need to look at, they have everything that they need, right? They got Zestimate, they got surveys, they got the history. They just need you to open that door and get them into the house. If you start walking them down a path of, well, I can't show you the house unless you're pre-approved and until you sign this 23-page document, you're going to lose them. And we've had that happen already on some agents, even here down in Florida, that we've talked to recently, where they kind of felt a little hesitation from the buyer. So like Brian said, get them into the property. And a great way to do that would be, and if you want to, you know, if you feel like, you know, they're a bad person or, you know, they're not going to qualify, book the appointment first. Okay, Brian, when would you like to go see that property at 123 Main Street? 2 o'clock tomorrow or 10 o'clock Wednesday morning? 2 o'clock tomorrow is best for me. Okay, great. And you book the appointment. Now, when you, if this is a home that you like, will you be paying cash for it or will you be financing it? You could ask them that question, right?
Yeah.
If they say, well, I'm going to be financing, great. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how would you rate your credit? You can ask them that.
Yeah.
And go from there. But if they say I'm already pre-qualified, I'm already ready to go, then just go with the qualification that they have.
Yeah.
But if they say I'm not pre-qualified, I don't have anything done, then I would say, okay, normally sellers want pre-qualification done. Let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how would you rate your credit? Oh, my credit's like a 910. I mean, I got a 750 credit score. I'll see you there tomorrow at 2 o'clock, right? You're gonna go. But if you ask that question, they say, well, it's okay. You know, I had a bankruptcy like 4 years ago. Then that's where you can kind of tail back a little bit and say, well, listen, why don't we just get this piece out of the way first, because the sellers do require it, which all sellers do, right? They don't want people coming in their house that are not pre-qualified. But my point is, don't demand it, and definitely don't say, well, go to your lender, get it pre-qualified and call me back, because that person's never gonna call you back. That lender now has another real estate agent they're gonna refer it to. So
yeah, as far as asking if they have a realtor, one of the things I do, Willie, that works pretty good at dancing around is, like you said, go ahead and book the appointment.
Mhm.
I always say, hey, do you have a bank that you work with? If you're financing in cash, great. I always ask the scale of 1 to 10. That's a perfect questionnaire. And if they're confident in their response, you just go on the showing. Worry about getting the pre-approval after if they like the house, right? But I'll say, hey, this is a great property. I love where it's located. Have you seen a lot of properties in that area? Have you been looking for a while? And accidentally, they're like, well, we looked at this one over here. And then I'll say, oh, so you have an agent? Right? Because if you looked at multiple properties, the assumption is you have an agent, right? If they say, no, we just been going to open houses, whatever, okay, no problem. All right, so tomorrow too, I'll be there. And it's not an invasive. I guess the bullet is don't worry about if they're pre-qualified or if they have a realtor. So many agents interrogate the prospect to get that information first before going. And there's ways to dance around it in conversation, like we just did, Willie, role play there to know whether that's going to be an issue or not. But don't get hung up on that, because what ends up happening is you filter way too many people and you turn away potential good prospects. And a lot of buyers, just kind of like I use the example when they're shopping in the mall for shoes, right? Or furniture. Remember Tap Furniture? You'd walk in Tap Furniture when they had it, and the sales guy would come right at you. Can I help you? Nope, just looking, right? Versus once you did find something, you were like, where the hell did that guy go? Right? So I said, hey, go ahead, let's look.
Is Tap Furniture even open anymore?
No, they got bought out.
No.
Yeah. Dating myself.
Let me answer this question with Carrie Hansen, because I think it's definitely a valid point here. Question: how do you balance the client's sense of urgency with your personal safety if we aren't getting background information?
Great question. And we've been hitting on this a lot lately. You never want to just meet them at the property if you don't know them. If they come to you, they're warm referral or someone that you know, a reliable source, so you kind of know them, or it's an area where there's a lot of activity going on, then it might be all right to meet them there. Definitely wouldn't be meeting them at a strange location, vacant house, someone that's a stranger. Try to invite them to a professional setting like the office or a coffee shop first to have some dialogue to make sure that they are for real. I mean, if they don't have 10 minutes, and you can say it like this: hey, when can we get together for 10 minutes ahead of time just to go through? I want to make sure I have the right criteria and I have some additional information and properties I can bring for us to go consider and look at ahead of time. And if they can't make 10 minutes to do that, then that is a red flag that you have to consider as well too, especially when it comes to safety. I don't know if that answers the question or not, Willie, but
yeah, you could do that. I mean, that's a good one. You can go with someone, bring someone with you to the appointment if you're feeling uncomfortable. You can jump them on a quick Zoom call. That's another qualifier. If they're not willing to do that, that's a red flag. And then you got the Forewarn app that a lot of agents use from the safety event. Using that Forewarn app will kind of give some background on that person, whether or not they're a threat or not.
I've seen a lot of agents say, hey, I'm going to have a colleague that has a client that's interested in this property too. Do you mind, if they video chat with me as well too, because they're kind of backing me up and we help each other out. So they're going to tour the property with me too. And then have someone that you can, dial in on FaceTime or whatever to attend the showing with you.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Great question, Carrie. And Marissa said Forewarn's a great app.
Yes. Always tell them that too, or you had talked about the marketing material, and then always tell them that you're working hard to prepare for the meeting, because you're going to get a lot of cancellations, but it's something that will resonate with them. If you tell them that you're looking forward to meet with them, you're going to do a lot of work between now and then to bring good information to them. This is mostly with sellers. You're looking forward to meeting with them. You want to definitely get that line in when you're booking an appointment. Even though I would argue, like you said, just on the buyer side, let them know that you're doing a lot of work to prepare for the meeting and you're going to gather as much information as you can. That will reduce the risk or the amount of, cancellations. Right. This one you can take these last two, Willie.
Yeah, money bag. That's a bag. I have a bank bag that I have in my car, or my bag that whatever we call it, knapsack thing that I have. But in that, there's no cards that are in there. There's scratch off tickets. It's already self-addressed, not self-addressed, but it has already a stamp on it with a note already ready to go. That's made a huge difference when following up from appointments to send them a personal note, especially now with the competition. Try it. Don't say, well, who gets what personal notes now? And, I don't have time to do that. It takes you 3 seconds to do it. Put it in a mailbox. It's made a huge difference of people getting that, because if they're in between two agents and you're sending them a personal note and the other one's not, or leaving them information like I did on that one property behind, it makes a big difference. So having a personal note is great. I call it the money bag because it's gotten me a lot of listings. There goes. Brian's got an example of what that looks like. All you gotta do is just write their name on the envelope. It's all ready to go. Write it in there. It's great seeing your property today. You got a beautiful home, and I'm looking forward. Thank you for the opportunity to possibly sell your home, and you'll have no problem selling. Right? Like you got to give them some positive affirmation to them so that they know that they're not going to have any problem selling, because most sellers think there's going to be a problem. Not all, but most. And follow up with hot buyers daily. Yeah, these buyers now, I mean, because of the market the way it is, houses are going quickly. If you have a hot buyer, you got to be on top of them every day, looking at the hot sheets, looking at the expired listings for them, talking to other agents, trying to see what's coming on market, those type of things. So that's the bullet point for that. So, all right, we done with this piece?
We are done with this piece. I think, is there any questions on lead follow-up in the queue? Anybody?
I'm just gonna read these. Here we go. Here we go. Get my glasses on. Have someone who has your location and a quick text prior to the first meeting can help you with a loved one knowing where you are and what you're doing. So that's Tracy Brown. And then Paul Longo said on here, you don't need to have a buyer agreement signed before showing the property. I didn't say that, Paul. I did not say that.
No.
I did not say that, Brian. You want to answer that?
Yeah, no, one of the things I've seen some agents work with success, you always want to get a buyer agency agreement signed. It's required. Okay, let's say that clear. It's required. So, but one of the things that you can say on the phone is if someone is uncomfortable signing a buyer agency agreement, you can sign a non-exclusive buyer agency agreement for that specific property that you're going to see. But you need to have it signed prior to scheduling the showing. Let them know that, hey, I'm going to send over an agreement to you. It just allows me to book and schedule the appointment to show that property. Obviously, if you put an offer in with me on that property, you know, I will be your agent representing you. But it just binds us to that one specific property. And then we can meet if you like everything. And I like working with you, you like working with me. We can meet and go into more detail about how we can work together in the future. That's it. Less is more, right? But like Willie mentioned, they just want to get in that property. And this is going to set you apart from that agent that's saying, no, 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 you got to meet with me. You got to sign a buyer agency agreement. We got to get married. We got to have kids. We're going to have like, they don't want all that. They just want to get in the property. And not every single one. I'm saying these are for the challenging ones. If you have a cold prospect that could potentially be a good lead and you don't want to lose it, that's a script that you can go to as a plan B is, well, I have this agreement. It's called a non-exclusive. I'll send it over to you. Basically what it does is that you're agreeing to use me as your agent should I go through and assist you in purchasing that home. But it's for that specific property. Hopefully that makes sense, Willie. Got some background?
Yeah, no, I got it. No, that makes sense. No, good try, Paul. I did not say that. I think it probably did sound like that though, Paul, so I'll give it to you. I give you that. But no, I just want you guys asking for too much and then just being like in their face and throwing all kinds of stuff at them. Like definitely try to make it so that you can make it, you know, using even a non-exclusive works very good for people on people you don't know.
Yeah, I think, you know, overall, if you get buyers to meet with you initially ahead of time for a consultation and you go through all the materials, they're going to sign a buyer agency agreement. You did your job right. But if you're like Willie said, you're on the phone with someone, it's a sense of urgency, they have to see it, and you know, they've checked the other boxes that we discussed, but they're hesitant to sign because they haven't met with you yet. Give them the opportunity to meet with you. If they don't have time to meet with you or they're not interested in meeting with you, then that would be a plan B that you would pull out of your bag just to see if you could save the deal. But I wouldn't go to that first as the norm.
Okay. I think I'm taking back control, right, Brian?
Yeah, I think what we do right now is just give a highlight and go more deep into this document because this is a pretty detailed document. I have it up on the screen unless you have it too. But just kind of set the tone for next week's call with regards to planning and having a strategy regarding client events and the benefits that you get from them. I lost you, Willie. I don't know if you're muted or what. There you go.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I mean, we have, I think this document, and I'll show it real quick. Hopefully,
yeah.
I try to get it back from you, Brian. Let me see. Change presenter. I got it. What screen do you see on here? You see the top?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go over this document next week, but really break it down as to, how to do these client events and what to do, right? Pre-planning, where, how, when, all that good stuff. Picking a date, securing your venue. If you're going to have food or no food, drinks, that type of stuff, entertainment. Again, I'm going through this a little bit quickly, but we'll go through in depth as to what you need to do, how to plan your invitations, how to promote all that. So we're going to go over that piece of it so that you guys can really do this for yourselves. And I think it could be as small as you want. It could be a coffee. It could be anything really. The whole thing is this, right? The whole thing with client events is you want to show appreciation to your clients for them being a client of yours, but also they want to be part of that tribe, right? They want to be part of your engagement. And even if you invite them and they can't go, the fact that you did that will give you big points for sure, but it's going to keep that top of mind awareness with that client. And with looking back at over the years with Brian Buffini and a lot of the agents that I've seen over the years do very, very well in real estate, they all have some type of component of a client event, right? Doing something, whether it's meeting for coffee at a coffee shop and just kind of networking that way. Lucy does a great job with client events. Lucy Zakaris, she's got brew pubs and ice cream events and all kinds of different things that she gets her clients together. 100%, I believe 100%, if not 98%, of all her business is repeat and referral business. Mm-hmm. That's where she gets it. So she doesn't buy leads. She rather put that money back into her clients. Jen Whipple does a great job. Christine Serafini. I mean, the list goes on and on. I don't want to miss anyone on here, but client events are something that I feel that a lot of agents kind of I don't want to say put their nose up to. I think it's more of a fear, Brian, like a fear that no one's going to show up. I don't want to do it because if no one shows up, I'm going to be very embarrassed, right? This past week, like I mentioned, Nikki had hers. Nikki David, that's what I was trying to pull up, that background noise that you heard. I was just trying to pull up the web video on here. I don't know if you can see. Can you see anything, Brian, on your screen?
Not yet.
Client event? All right, hang on 1 second.
And the other myth, Willie, is that the reason why agents don't do it is cost. They think it's too pricey, too expensive to do it, and not realizing that a lot of their clients, when you have a client event, you have mutual clients with other lenders, attorneys, home inspectors, etc. A lot of times you don't have to wing it alone. You could take on some of that cost with a vendor or a couple of vendors. I've seen agents do that successfully to help offset the cost. And when you think about the cost, Willie, what agents are spending for other lead generation platforms, the power of one referral, the amount of ROI that you would get on that is, it's priceless. So that's a nice looking boat right there. That looks like a good time. Now it's up, but it is muted on the bottom. I see your speaker muted there. You're muted now too. Can't hear it.
It'll be on the Miranda page, or you guys could take a look. I'm sure Nikki will post it today, but basically just a highlight, right? It's part of the process of what we're going to talk about when doing the events. You can have the events and do all this stuff, but now where the rubber meets the road is really on the follow-up piece, right? It's the follow-up highlight video. It's reaching out to the people, sending them a personal note, or, letting them know that, you appreciate them coming to the event, that type of stuff. But yeah, so Nikki had, I think she had about probably 60 potential people she can invited, or that she was going to invite and talk to. But a lot of them already left March 31st. This event was on April 1st, I believe. So she wasn't able to get everyone at the event because they had already left, but she had 43, I believe, that showed. And that's a great number for your first event. Was that, Brian?
Yeah, no, it's still a great number. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So basically, she met him at the beginning of the boat. Everyone came in. Everyone gave she gave him a drink ticket. They got information, not information, but the pass to get onto the boat. And then everyone kind of jumped on the boat and just mingled, right? Just talked and had name tags and celebrated, and again, everyone had a drink ticket. It was a little rainy. We were a little worried at first because it was raining of all times. We had a huge drop down here all winter, and it happened to rain, but it was only for a little bit. Once the boat got going, the clouds started opening up. We got to see the rocket actually take off in the background from Cape Canaveral, wherever that launched from, to clients actually gave client testimonials while on there. So captive audience, and they were willing to do it, especially when you get them liquored up. Got to be careful of not getting too liquored up. But just great testimonials and just walking around and talking to people. It was great to be able to take a little cruise within that area to do this client event. They had a bar, they had everything capped off. But as you can see, it was just really a great opportunity to get in front of our clients. And they all came. You didn't have to do anything crazy like dinners and all that. It was a drink ticket, and they came. A lot of the people, if they wanted some appetizers, paid themselves. And, you know, again, gave some testimonials, and we're able to get out there and give our clients a great time. So, and then at the end here, she's got her recap on here. So you could do it anywhere, right? Like I said, you could do it in New York, you could do it in Florida. I mean, obviously you can't go on to the ocean in New York, but I really think like Lake George is a great venue. I know they have the big boats that are up there. If you don't want to do that, you can also do it at a local event somewhere, locally at a bar, at a brew pub. It could be something with Santa, breakfast with Santa, that, you know, we've done that a few times. We've had the Easter Bunny, obviously we just passed, but we've done that in the past. What else do we have, Brian? Christine Serafini did the movie theater.
Movie theaters, like you said, holidays, you know, I've seen like breakfast with Santa type of events where, you know, Halloween events, Easter events, the Easter Bunny, like the list goes on and on. Nothing's too much, you know, Jen's done where she's people go apple picking at the farm, all kinds of different events like that.
Just think about it. So next week, we're going to go deeper next week on exactly how to do that, how to structure it. And don't be afraid of it, you know, be open-minded to it. And you'll see a big difference. And as far as cost goes too, that's the other thing, Brian. I think people get kind of hung up, well, it's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's a myth.
The ROI is huge on it. It really is. And we'll talk more about that next week as well. All right, Brian, let's wrap it up here. We got a minute left. I got some comments on there. See if we can answer any of these. Company, vacant land. All right, Carrie, call. Oh, she's offline now. You may want to follow up with Carrie offline, Brian. If a lead is hesitant of signing a buyer agreement, I will send them the consumer guide on buyer's agreement. That was from Stacy.
Yeah, one of the things I'll say right now, Willie, you're going to see less and less of that hesitation because now more agents are telling them, I need a buyer's agreement signed. So buyers are facing that now where they weren't early on. Well, you know, I had 2 other agents open up the door for me. They didn't sign anything. But now agents are getting nervous and they're requiring it. And the thing is, they're doing it the wrong way. As we mentioned before, you know, they're forcing people to commit before signing a house. So set yourself apart by doing that. There's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. Is the point we're trying to get across.
Okay. Jen Whipple had another great event. This is a multiple year event that she's done this, a few years, Build-A-Bear. When you bring kids and families together, it's huge. So I'm sure Jen could take a whole half hour to show you how that works, but that's a really great event as well.
Yep.
Carry offline, and what a beautiful venue from Christine Fox. I love that. Would love that. All right, so good stuff, guys. We'll talk more about it next week. Busy week this week. I know, Brian, you mentioned about the website. Get to those trainings for the website. It's going to make a huge difference in your business. And just so you're aware of it, and you make sure you maximize that exposure, because, again, it's their design, and it costs the company a lot of money to promote ourselves and promote our marketing. And we hate to have you guys not be part of that. So please check into those Friday meetings and look on Connect Team for all that information. So anything in closing, Brian?
Oh yeah, we're going to go through this document next week and just really designed to protect your brand, showcase it, and magnify it. So there is a strategy involved all the way from, you know, hiring a videographer and, like I said, getting vendors to partner up with you, doing highlights if you want, or you can make it simple, right? Start off small, and then, you know, it doesn't have to be big and elaborate. But nonetheless, we're going to go through this document, and you're going to leave next week's call getting ready to schedule. Hopefully, many of you will be scheduling client events for the year.
Awesome. All right, guys, have a great week. Thank you very much. Ryan, Tina, as always, thank you. All right, have a great day. Bye.